Home Advantage, Social Class and Parental Intervention in Elementary Education by Annette LaRue, a book review by Ashley Samuels. This book focuses on social class and its influence on parental involvement in schools, particularly classroom activities. The author argues the position that social class does indeed affect schooling. The book also states that schools have limited their focus to school or family instead of school and family. The research question is how and why social class influences parent involvement in schools. I feel that this is an appropriate question as an in-depth case study of two schools were conducted to gather descriptive data. This was an ethnographic approach where the cultures of two schools were studied with the focus of determining whether the social class of various families played a role in the parental involvement of those parents. Because observing cultures is the focus, ethnography is an appropriate approach to the research. Two schools were the focus of the research. The first school was the Colton School. It was in a modest community in San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California. It was an older, deteriorating city center. Most parents were semi-skilled or unskilled. House and apartment rent was low. The gatekeepers for this school were teachers, parents, and school administrators. The second school was the Prescott School. This school sat on a hill in the middle of a residential district. It had a prosperous downtown city center. The parents were primarily professionals, i.e., doctors, lawyers, engineers, and corporate managers. Most of the homes had 3 to 4 bedrooms, and the gatekeepers for this school were teachers, parents, and school administrators as well. The types of data collected were observation and interviews. There were about 100 hours of observation. The interviews were open-ended and set up like conversations. LaRue originally wanted to study 3 schools instead of 2, interviewing 3 families at each school. She also wanted to supplement the qualitative study with a quantitative analysis of a national set of family-school relations. Then the reality of that feat set in. These data sources were appropriate as they provide the needed information to answer the research question. The data was analyzed twice, first time half-heartedly, the second time more thoroughly. Coding, sorting, and a dual system of case studies and analytic categories were used to look for patterns and increase confidence in the data's accuracy. The study found that family-school relationships vary among working-class and upper-middle-class communities. Working-class families were seen as separating the family from school. They believe that the teacher and school are responsible for the child's education, hardly ever intervening in the educational process. On the other hand, upper-middle-class parents create relationships around scrutiny and interconnectedness. They saw education as a shared responsibility between parents and teachers and were very critical of the education that their children received, including the performance of their child's teacher. Although no pointed limitations were discussed, there were a few things that came out. For example, at Colton School, it was unusual for adults to be in the room, which created an awkwardness. Also, as earlier discussed, LaRue originally wanted to gather information from a third school and add a quantitative analysis. As a validity check, triangulation was created as both observations and interviews were used to conduct research. Overall, I thought this was a good example of a qualitative study. The book was an easy read. I should also note that I checked the book out from Stern Library. Since this book came out, a second edition has been published that has additional information in it. Please feel free to ask questions in the comments. Thank you.